Football people. We got
Hola.
something new for you. Um, Zach was brainstorming a bit.
And we just we're going to start a riff on a bunch of teams. so,
For
because we were bored and we were sitting here wondering, this guy or that guy? And what I meant by that was, it's like, okay, Mike Williams is hurt, right?
Mhm.
So, say for instance, you have the choice to put more stock on your fantasy team in Josh Palmer or Quentin Johnston. Who do you choose? Who do you have more belief is going to step into that role and help your fantasy team?
Me personally, I think Quentin Johnson
I agree.
because you got to pick on. You used a pick for him,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially when a new coach uses a pick on a player that he wanted. It kind of raises their stock a bit, just a bit more, and all that. I get the hype of Palmer. He showed up when Mike went out. He knows the system already, but give Johnson a practice, a few practices,
Mm-hmm.
let him get acclimated with the offense a bit more, and I think you're going to see him go up a bit more than.
I feel like I'm picking Johnston because it's going to help the team not have to change how they play. Like when he's good, but he's still like, he's not elite.
Yeah,
So that means Keenan has to be elite. But like if you take Keenan away from his route running and shit and he's seeing more double teams or press coverage, like he's not at his best. At least if I play Quentin Johnston, I was like, hey, most of the time Mike Williams just runs a straight go route or something up the field. Like
yeah.
go clear this shit out for Keenan, and I think Quentin can just step into that role. But like you said, it might take a month. But in a month, he might fucking have two touchdown games in a row. And it's like, what more could you ask for holding a player on your fantasy team bench, you know?
Especially on that offense. I mean, they're not as potent as Miami, but they put up some numbers. And one thing that offense is good at is when an injured player sadly goes out, somebody steps up and takes that position for Herbert, and it just keeps moving. And
Like you said, it used the pick. Now you have to step into that role.
yeah, they
And
wouldn't
then
got it.
Palmer, he's already doing his thing kind of anyway. So just leave him in that role and see if he could do a little better. Like pick up the slack for Quentin. That
Yeah,
way you kind of get the best of both worlds.
true.
You know what I mean?
No, that's very true, actually. I
So that
mean,
one's a wash. But if we had to choose Quentin Johnson,
I think I'm going Quentin Johnson.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's in Yahoo leagues. He's picked out more than Palmer, but
Mm-hmm.
Palmer seems like the number one waiver wire. So there's gonna be a lot of people mad at this video if we're right because they're
Well,
wasting waiver. But hey, it's
okay, let's start some shit on another team.
yeah,
Green Bay Packers. And you know I like picking on them. Uh Christian Watson's coming back, right?
yes,
But some of us happen to have fell in love with Jaden Reed. You know,
hmm
some people are critical of him, but it's like I think they play offense a little bit differently with Jalen Reed, and I like it. Uh if you had your choice on your fantasy team, and mind you, I have this scenario going on right now. Do you keep Jaden Reed or you keep Christian Watson?
I have the same situation. I want to say I keep Jaden Reed,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a feeling that they're gonna try to force Christian Watson with Jordan Love.
Yeah, up the field kind of stuff,
Yeah,
which I don't hate that.
but thinking about it also, the only one that has trade value is Jaden Reed. If Christian
Yes.
Watson hasn't played, hamstring injury, do you keep both of them when he gets healthy? Because hamstrings are always a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's like I can trade you if I think Christian's the guy and he's going to be fine, or I can trade Christian a week or two and he starts playing.
It's like one of those fucked up scenarios because if you trade Jaden Reed and keep Christian Watson, and then Christian Watson gets hurt, somebody took Jaden Reed from you, and so you're getting screwed over two times.
exactly.
I'm keeping both of these guys.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm holding a spot until at least I see some production out of Christian Watson. Personally, me, if they're both putting up numbers, I'm probably trading Christian Watson though
Mm-hmm.
when I can because I don't want to deal with that hamstring come week 12 or 13 and it flares
Oh,
up
good
again.
point. Good point.
I mean, the way injuries are going this year, get it what you can out of him if you
I was
can.
trying my hardest to find a reason to pick Christian Watson until you said that right there.
I just the way the season's gone. I mean, if you have like if he's your third, like your flex,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you ain't got nothing to really worry about. If he's your first or second,
Oh yeah, they're definitely yeah. As
yeah,
a matter of fact, they're both on my bench. I still have like 3 receivers better than both of them.
yeah. He's technically my second
Oh no,
in
I don't
a
have that issue.
14-man league, and yeah,
Oh, see, that's why.
that's why, yeah,
But you got Jaden Reed on that team also.
yeah.
I don't hate that because I think if you could go
Mm.
find you another couple players like Jaden Reed, Matt Collins, Khalif Raymond, Ronnie Bell, or some those kind of guys, that's
Yeah,
not bad.
yeah. I could be doing a lot worse for
Exactly.
sure. It didn't help that I had him and the running back hurt. So yeah,
All right, let's move over to run. Speaking of running back, let's start a little trash with Pittsburgh. Like, like if you have to know that there's some players on that team frustrated with Najee. It just has to be, right?
yeah.
So, like, if you were a Pittsburgh Steeler player, who would you want to be your running back, Najee or Jaylen Warren?
I feel like the consensus of like the outside looking in, people are gonna say Najee because it's not only his fault. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever I see the moves and the plays that Warren can make, the energy he gives, the intensity when he runs through a defender, that's that excitement that you want to play for. That's what you want your guy to
Like
do.
when you know what I think it is. It's not that Jaylen Warren's numbers are so godly or anything like that. It's just he does everything right, and he feels like a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like Najee may not feel like a Pittsburgh Steeler to me. It's like this dude should have been like fucking a Cardinal.
Yeah. It Warren just I mean, you said it, I think it was week 2. We were watching the game and Najee and Warren did the same play and Warren just did it better.
Mm-hmm.
Warren did it better. He had better numbers. I mean, there's some times where Najee will get a good play here or there, but most of the time, Warren's outplaying him. Just on the eye test alone, he outplays him.
Mm-hmm. That's the
And
thing is I don't care what the numbers say. The eye tells me that Jalen's playing better.
yeah,
Dang,
so
that's cold, Najee.
yeah, and I feel like for fantasy, like I get people are still on the Najee train. There's still people trading for him. There's
Mm-hmm.
still people that are like, oh, it's gonna be okay. They're gonna figure it out. I just think at some point Warren's going to be flipped to a number 1 more,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll maybe in the number 2 spot, but he's going to be producing a lot more, especially on third down, red zone.
I also feel like there's two things that we're not taking into consideration. I think, and I'm not trying to defend Najee because I'm picking Jaylen Warren in this scenario.
Yeah,
But to Najee's defense, for one, that offense just isn't as good as we think it is. And the points they do score come off of big plays. And Najee might be more valuable to you in the red zone than he is at the 50. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So like maybe that's what's going on with Najee. So
And some of the play calling's questionable, but then he doesn't help it when he tries to dive for a touchdown, and it's like, bro, what are you
yeah,
doing?
from
Like,
the 4, that was
yeah.
good. That was some matter of fact, you just reminded me. I'm never picking Najee up because I know you're
I,
dumb.
I just feel if you can trade him, he had a decent week from what I remember. I
Him
mean,
and Jaylen Warren were probably pretty even this week.
yeah, and in ESPN, Najee put up 6.50. Um, Jaylen Warren put up 8.20. So wasn't amazing, but I mean, you got two guys splitting runs and I just feel Najee's on the trajectory down. His name holds value though. There's people that still want him because of his name.
True.
You can probably go and get somebody that's out there that's struggling, a nice backup, a handcuff, somebody. Now, if he's your second running back, I mean, you're hurting. But if any of these are your second running back, you're probably hurting.
Well, I think people could talk me into believing why they picked Najee too as their second.
Yeah. If Warren's your second,
And,
either it better be
yeah.
injuries
Or there
or
better be a lot of fucking teams in the league.
yes. So Warren, I guess, gets our pick for this one.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So DJ Chark is coming back, and it seems like Adam Thielen is starting to do good. Does Chark take production from him, or does Thielen stay on it? Who you got off of this team?
Man, it's hard because the Andy Dalton effect is in play right now.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, I was a huge DJ Chark fan. I just like his size. I like what he can do. I'm not an Adam Thielen fan, but I'm trying to look at it from longevity wise when Andy Dalton, leaves and Bryce comes back and everything. Who's going to still have the production? And I want to say DJ, but I just feel like Thielen is that safety blanket for either one of those quarterbacks.
It's exactly what he is. Like he. If you go back and look at that Monday night game, he had 7 catches. It was only 54 yards, but he kept getting them. He was moving the chain. Like when they did have drives, it's because he was getting them first downs. And to me, that shit's worth it because all you need is 1 or 2 of those to go for 15, 17, 22. And you got you a 70-something yard day off of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm going with Thielen off of this team.
Yeah, I think DJ is more of a boomer bust type of player.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have a week where he does really good, 20 points in fantasy, and then he'll have a week where he drops you 5. And it's kind of hard to predict when that's going to happen. I do feel that with Bryce coming back, he utilizes his running backs both better.
Mm-hmm.
So that will help out Thielen even more. And so I'm going to go with Thielen.
I loved how Thielen looked with Chuba. Like they were both, you had one route underneath, one on top, and I was like, all right, this is how they're going to move the ball. And I was like, I want both of these players on my team.
Luckily, I got Chuba.
All right, let's see what stepdaddy old Sean Payton is going to do in Denver. I think you and I were both high on Marvin Mims, and I want to see him play more. But in order for that to happen, somebody's ass got to go. If you're the Broncos, who do you ship off? Courtland Sutton or Jerry Jeudy?
Who's been less injured?
So Courtland's probably been less injured, I think.
It feels like they've both been injured, injury prone. They both are older.
See, instinct says Jeudy.
Yeah.
But then I wonder if Courtland Sutton and Marvin Mims are too much alike.
And that's where I was going to go with next. Who's a different game than Marvin Mims?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like.
But then Marvin Mims and Jerry Jeudy might both want to go over the top. But then I'm like, I think that Jeudy could go underneath. Like he can run crossers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would trade Courtland Sutton, to be honest with you.
I think his name will hold a little more value as of right now. He had some drop balls in the game, so I think you can get something for him. Then that opens up the door for Marvin Mims. I know people are going to be like, "Oh, well, that's stupid. Why would they trade him?" Well, yeah, I mean, you can't. Sometimes you have too much of something.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you could stretch his field a little bit more, that makes Javonte Williams better. Like all those running backs are better.
Yeah,
P. Ryan.
And that's something they need to do. And Mims just consistently 2 weeks put up the numbers and all that. So I feel like, and if you're an owner of Jeudy or Sutton, I mean, keep them still. You don't know what team they'll want if they do get traded, what team they'll go to. But as of right now, kind of feels like they're scratching each other out, and Mims is kind of just benefiting from it.
I almost feel like saying that it's like Courtland's probably their number one read, Mims, and then Jeudy.
Yeah,
I feel like Mims already took Judy's spot, right?
Yeah, him and Russell.
Do you value Mims higher than Jeudy, or not yet because he don't get to snap?
I think if he does it again, for like another week and two, I have to put you as number one.
It's because some people like they're like, oh, he don't get enough run. It's not worth having on a team. Like, look at week 1. I was like, yeah, but look at 2 and 3. He just got a little bit more, but he was catching deep. I value Marvin Mims Jr. in the same as I would Rashid Shaheed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not elite, but there's so much you could do for a fantasy team. Like, that's how I value Marvin Mims.
Yep. There's always ways for you to score, and you give me multiple options of it. That's why people fell in love with Taysom Hill a year ago. There was
Mm-hmm.
multiple ways, that Swiss Army knife type of thing. It's a beauty to have, honestly.
I like it. All right. This one's going to be a tough one. Houston,
Yep.
Texas fans. Houston, Texas fans, we about to settle the score right now. Fantasy football wise, you retards, who do you prefer on your team? Nico Collins or Tank Dell?
I'm gonna go with Tank.
Sweet, I'm going Nico Collins.
And the only reason I go with Tank is you made a comment that he reminds you of Brandon Ayuk in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
And his speed alone is something that I think is going to be utilized more.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this: I think both are going to be productive receivers. If you can get either one of them, you definitely need to get them on your team.
For sure.
But I do think that for me, I think Tank will. I'm not saying he's going to give you 20, 30 points a game, but I think consistently he can give you anywhere from flirting with 10 as a flex
Mm-hmm.
or more.
See, I'm picking Nico Collins for the simple shit.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing special about what you did. Like, you stayed true to the system. You pretty much, I want to say, you probably caught 7 out of 10 balls on the same fucking route. So
Yeah.
that means you're true to the system, and you're benefiting from our system exploiting their scheme. And if you just keep doing that, then I think that Nico Collins can be a wide receiver too on a fantasy team and consistently get you 14 to 17.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel that way. I mean, if he has a game here or there where he only gets you 7 or 8, who gives, it just happens. You know what I mean?
That's any team. I mean,
Yeah.
AJ Brown owners, I'm one of them. I know that he had a big game. He may give me 7 next week, and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool.
And I'm just trusting that he stays healthy and they keep doing that. You know what I mean? And that's the only reason. But I'm with you. I think Tank Dell can have those games where it's like, oh, you got 8 today and then fucking 42 next week.
Yeah. He's a very, very productive Gabe Davis. He's what you wanted Gabe Davis to be in your fantasy receiver. He kind of reminds me, like we said, of Rashid Shaheed. The speed's there. He'll give you
Man,
a
I'm gonna be
point.
honest with you. Like, I watched a lot of highlights of Pat. He's Zay Flowers, but a little bit faster. Like,
Yeah.
if you really watch the way they play football, there's like not a whole lot of difference.
Yeah.
And you can't fucking hate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't hate that because Zay Flowers might be rookie of the year right now.
Mm-hmm. Between him and Tank, they're competing for 1 and 2 receivers right now.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Nico Collins, he likes his role. Like, I think he's comfortable in it, so I'm gonna trust it. And fantasy wise, I'll take Collins.
And being realistic, everybody loves the Tank and CJ connection because of a rookie, but rookies hit walls at some point. And then
Mm-hmm.
CJ is going to rely on Nico a little more in case Tank hits his wall and CJ hits his wall.
It's
So,
almost, and I'm gonna show this dude love as much as possible because I was hating on him a little bit. It's almost retarded that we didn't include Robert Woods in this. Like, I don't think he can match what they do, but that dude still catches like 5 balls a game.
I was going to say Robert Woods as like a flex sleeper, like a guy that you need, especially with bye weeks coming up. He's going to be consistent. 5 to 7 passes, going to be sometimes 10 yards, sometimes there. He's going to get like 10 points sneaking around. And when buys start to come up and people Tyreek Hill's out and you it's like, oh, I'm not getting 42, but I'd rather get a 10 than a 0.
Yep.
It all adds up. Those are when the plays start to happen. He's a guy I had on my team and I dropped him to pick a running back up, which I'm not mad because it was Chuba Hubbard. I needed a running back, but yeah, I'm kind of mad I don't have him.
It worked though, didn't it?
It did work, but I still wish I had him on my team. So, But yeah, I think those two for sure. I mean, it's a coin flip, but I mean, it's not a bad coin. It's like, do I win $100 or do I win $99? Like,
I almost chuckle on the inside thinking about Nico Collins versus Tank Dell because I'm still convinced that our two best receivers are on the bench, John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson. Like that's how funny it is to me.
we talked about in our Houston show, John Mechie. There's something there, and I think since Xavier's still green, I
Yes, sir.
think John Mechie is going to be a guy that you definitely want to keep on your wait list and just keep looking at him because
But
every
also,
week.
like, we just have to keep bringing that shit up because Tank Dell wasn't getting run until Noah Brown got hurt. And then the second Noah Brown got hurt, Tank Dell got more snaps that he started shining. It's like, you stupid asses in that building. We were telling y'all to play him before.
Mm-hmm. They were hesitant. They were
Oh, well.
hesitant. So injuries helped the Texans a bit, help your teams out for sure. You had these guys on your bench. Fantasy football people, let us know what you think of our predictions. I know some of you that own the guys we didn't pick are going to be very upset with us, which is fine.
Either that and also offer us some advice that we'll quit stacking players on our team because
Yeah, yeah, for real. Uh, Make sure you join us every Sunday, 8 in the morning Central Time, right here on the SOG Network's YouTube. We got you covered for fantasy football, stardom, and sit-ems. We'll be bright and early for the London game. You got IDP questions, Zach's your guy to ask. Go check out his videos that are coming out. Check out all of our other videos. Drop comments down below on any questions. Any trades that you think you need to do, drop them down below. We got you covered in comments. We'll answer them for you. If we get enough crazy, we might do a video on some of the craziest trades that have been down. We've received some also.
we
That being said,
offered
though,
some.
yeah. That being said, like, subscribe. We're out of here. Good luck this week. Later.
Peace.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.